18.4, we're going to talk about preparation of salts. So before we learn how to prepare a salt, okay, first of all, we have to learn that, okay, the types of salts that we have mainly talking about. So for types of salt, okay, mainly we can classify them into soluble salt and insoluble salt. So how can you know that, okay, whether they are soluble or insoluble? You have to refer to the tables and you have to memorize this table well. So first of all, for the salt, okay, that they contain the following ion. For the cation, if they contain Na+, K+, and NH4+, they will be soluble. Not only the cation with these ions, they are soluble, but also the anion like nitrate and hydrogen carbonate. If they contain either one of the cation like this or anion like that, okay, that will be soluble. Just give you an example. For example, okay, if we have like sodium bromide, potassium sulphate, or like ammonium chloride. Also, we have like magnesium nitrate, and also maybe calcium hydrogen carbonate. So for this ion, as long as they have this anion or cation, these kind of salt have to be soluble. They must be soluble in water. Okay, so for the others, okay, for example, okay, for halide ion, say we have chloride ion, bromide ion, and iodide ion. For these ion, okay, for this salt, okay, contains chloride ion, bromide ion, iodide ion. Most of them are soluble, okay, but they do have some exception. When the chloride ion, bromide ion, iodide ion, when they met Pb2+ or silver ion, then they will become insoluble. Say for example, okay, we have like PbCl2, PbBr2. These are insoluble. For example, like AgI, AgCl. These are also insoluble. Okay, so most of the halide ion, okay, they should be soluble, except, okay, when they see Pb2+ lead-2 ion and also combine with the silver ion, they will then become insoluble. So the other one, okay, that we're going to go through will be sulphate ion, SO4 2-. Most of them, okay, they should be soluble, except when they come across, again, Pb2+, Ba2+, and also Ca2+. Okay, so for Ba2+ and Ca2+, actually both of them, they are coming from group 2 element. So hope that this can help you easier to remember. So again, okay, if they combine with calcium, say for example calcium sulphate, then they will become insoluble. Barium sulphate, they will then become insoluble. But most of the others, say for example, okay, if you have like copper 2 sulphate, that will be soluble. Okay, for example, you have zinc sulphate, that will be soluble. Okay, so remember, other than exceptions, okay, most of them, they will be soluble. The last one that we're going to talk about, it will be the carbonate ion. Okay, carbonate ion is CO3 2-. So you'll find that carbonate ion, most of them, they are insoluble. Okay, except when they combine with Na+, K+, and NH4+. Oh, you say, oh, that one is so familiar. Yes, that's right, okay, because for these ions, okay, they must be soluble. So when this combine with this, say for example, sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate, or ammonium carbonate, then for these, okay, they have to be soluble. Okay, so you will find that, okay, this table, okay, very useful, okay, in the coming 3 videos. If you cannot identify a salt whether they are soluble in water or insoluble in water, actually you cannot design which procedures you have to use. Okay, so bear in mind, this one is an extreme important table that you have to memorize in order to proceed. Okay, so remember, very, very important. But you may wonder why we are talking about these kind of ions only. We still have many other kinds of iron. We don't talk about that. Okay, so if you take a closer look, you'll find that these ions, okay, actually they are coming from the acid. Say for example, we have nitric acid, HNO3, or HNO3. For example, we have HCl, HBr, and also HI. Okay, we have H2SO4. We also have H2CO3. Okay, so you'll find that actually all these are the parent acid. So when they form salt, okay, we can use this table to help us to think about whether they are soluble or insoluble. In your textbook, we got a very similar one. Okay, but I recommend you, okay, for this table, okay, try to write once. Okay, just ignore this example because I just try to explain to you only. Okay, for the rest, okay, just write the purple one. Okay, will be a good and simple table for you to observe. Okay, so the one in the textbook is more or less like this. Again, you can see that the exceptions, okay, say for example, for halide ion, no silver ion, no lead 2 ion. For sulphate, no Pb, no Ba, no Ca, okay. And then for carbonate, okay, most of them are soluble, or except where have like K, Na, and ammonia. Okay, so the arrangement of the table is slightly different from mine. Okay, but both of the table will serve the same purpose, help you to identify whether they are soluble or insoluble. So after you know that, okay, the preparation of salt, you'll find that, okay, we are actually having 3 methods. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so in the following videos, I will, according to this sequence, okay, to tell you one by one. For the first one, okay, we are having the adding the metal insoluble base or insoluble carbonate into acid. Okay, to help you easier to remember, setup 1, you'll see a process like this. We add some insoluble base in it, so therefore you may have some insoluble base into acid. So basically, okay, the first setup, okay, would be look like this, adding some solid, okay, into the acid. Second one is adding alkaline or soluble carbonate into acid. That means liquid into liquid. So for setup 2, okay, we will have a setup like this. Maybe at this moment you don't know what I am drawing, okay, but later on you will know what is it. Okay, and the third one, okay, is just simply mixing 2 solutions directly. So you will have a beaker, adding solution into another beaker. So basically, okay, I would like you to have these 3 pictures in your mind, okay, to know that, okay, step 1, okay, we have this process, step 2, we have this setup, step 3, we're simply mixing 2 solutions together, okay, and then later on, when we explain, it will be easier for you to follow. But when we will use method 1, when will we use method 2, and when will we use method 3? Method 3 is easy for you to understand because you see that if it is insoluble salt, then we'll use mixing 2 solutions. Just give quick example for insoluble salt. For example, we have silver chloride, barium sulphate, or any kind of carbonate except sodium, potassium, ammonium. So when we prepare these 3 kind of salt, then we may use insoluble salt method 3, okay, mixing 2 solutions to help. But for the soluble salt, okay, we have 2 methods, method 1 and method 2. How can we distinguish? Okay, method 1, we are dealing with some soluble salt without Na+, K+, and NH4+. That means, okay, all kind of soluble salt, as long as you don't have these 3 ions. Say, for example, we'll have like magnesium nitrate, or we'll have like calcium chloride. Okay, these kind of soluble salt, okay, they will be using method 1. But for the method 2, okay, we are going to cater the salt that they have Na+, K+, and NH4+. Say, for example, okay, you have NaCl, KNO3, or maybe ammonium nitrate. Okay, so these kind of salt, okay, we will then use method 2. again, for soluble salts, we still have to classify the soluble salt. Either they without these 3 ions or they with these 3 ions. If they with these 3 ions, method 2. If they without these 3 ions, method 1. Okay, so you can see that, okay, actually the whole setup, okay, they will have 2 parts. The first part, okay, will be related to the reaction. So the first one, okay, will be related to reactions. So in the process, okay, you're going to make the salt. Okay, you prepare the salts. This section is to prepare the salts that you want. Okay, and then after that, okay, you will go for the second step, which need to separate and purify the salt. Okay, so normally separate and purified, okay, we will have these steps together, which include filter, wash, and dry. Okay, so I'll call this one 三步. Okay, so all the time, okay, at the end, you filter the salt, you wash the salt, and you dry the salt. Okay, but before that, okay, sometimes we may have other steps like filtration and crystallization to prepare the salt. In details, I'm going to cover it in the following 3 videos. So quick practice, okay, so you need to predict whether they are soluble or insoluble. So method 8, question 8, okay, you see ammonia, so it must be soluble. Question B, okay, carbonate. Most of the carbonate, they are insoluble, okay, except Na plus, K plus, NH4 plus. C, okay, chloride. Most of the chloride are soluble, except except Ag plus and also Pb2 plus. Okay, so that will be soluble. Remember this videos, you can pause it and do it on your own first, okay, before listening to that. Okay, part D, okay, calcium nitrate. Whenever you have nitrate, it must be soluble. Part E, carbonate. Most of them, they are insoluble. And PbSO4, remember SO4, they cannot match with Pb, Ba, and also Ca. Whenever they see this, okay, they will become insoluble. Part G, question G, okay, carbonate again, okay, they will be insoluble. Okay, and then silver iodide, which is halide ion and matching with silver ion. So this one will be insoluble. Okay, so again, okay, you have to work well, okay, with the table, okay, that we introduced in this videos in order to get all this correct. Otherwise, the 3 methods to prepare the salt, you don't know which one you have to pick. So, in short, okay, we have to identify the type of salts, okay, into soluble salt and insoluble salt. There are 3 methods to prepare the salt. Method 1, okay, you're going to add excess metal oxide into the acid. Okay, this one is used to deal with the soluble salt without Na plus, K plus, and also NH4 plus. But if you have these kind of ions, okay, then we will use another method to prepare the salt, which is having a burette and conical flask. We call this one titration. Later on you'll learn that. Okay, and then if you are preparing a insoluble salt, simply you got 2 solutions with direct mixing will do. Okay, most of the situations after the preparing the salts, okay, or before the end, okay, of the experiments, okay, we will have sample, filter, wash, and dry to purify okay, the salt or the crystal that obtained. Okay, so that's all for this video. Bye bye.